Okay, so Daniel Victor.
Yeah.
Producer, songwriter, musician, all of the above.
Yeah.
Where is Daniel most comfortable?
You know, I'm most comfortable in the studio because I grew up in a recording environment in the house. Basically, my father was into recording bands and things like that in the 80s. So my basement as a kid was more like microphones and musical instruments than it was toys. So it was like second nature to me to just be able to sit down in front of all this equipment and just know how to use it without studying or going to school for recording. Yeah. So I was always very comfortable in the studio environment. And then when I built Never Ending White Lights, it was from that side. It wasn't from being on stage. It wasn't about videos, and it wasn't about touring and playing these shows. It was about producing songs and writing songs and sitting in a studio and having a guy on the other end of the glass, like City in Color or Our Lady Peace or whoever it was that I had worked with, bring the song to life. And it was all from that sort of studio environment. And I'm always most comfortable in the studio. I mean, like, I live and breathe the studio life.
Was there anything else for Daniel?
Well, I mean, like, on a personal note, growing up, I was always very family-oriented, so I always felt very comfortable being around family and friends. I never really, I still don't live in Toronto, right? I live in Windsor, which is where my family's from, and I spend the majority of my time, like, with all my relatives, because it's who I am. Work-wise, again, like, the studio thing is important. The other component would be, you know, being the frontman of the band and being live and having to jump into that. I don't want to say persona because it's certainly an extension of who I am, but you know, in portraying the character that I've become in video, and
the Victorian Gothic image.
That's another sort of. I wouldn't say it's my most comfortable place because, you know, I wasn't exactly born in the Victorian period,
right.
You know, but it's something that it was a definite extension of my music and my style and clothing and stuff like that. So it's I would say it's like the third in line to, you know, if I had to rank what I was most comfortable with, you know, it'd be definitely being in the studio and then definitely being with people who I really love, and then being that figure of, you know, this sort of frontman musician who's, you know, trying to portray this character of meeting the flavor of fashion and a really interesting time period and blending it with music in a live show.
You're just speaking a little bit about your image. How did that come about? Like, why Gothic? Why Victorian? Like,
well, you know, I think everybody's got a style in them that they're born with, and if you look around the streets, like, you see what people are wearing, it's like why did they pick that? I think it's part of who they are.
Okay, it didn't come out from the Grace, did it? Like the first video, and then it just kind of grew from there?
It did, in the sense that the director, whose name is RT, and he's done a lot of really great videos, had this vision for the song about doing a period piece from the Victorian era, and my vision on the video was the angel aspect of it, where I wanted to do something angelic, because my first record was all about angels and spirits and all that sort of thing, and I've always been known for that, and that's something that I always read about. I always read books about angels and books about you know, ghosts and such. So we married the idea of, you know, the spirit world thing to a time like the Victorian that the director had come up with, and it just fit everything really well. Like, literally, the clothes really, really fit well. And I mean, most of my wardrobe is dressier stuff. Like, I don't really wear a lot of slummy clothes. Okay. So everything I had just played into it. You know, like white shirts and really interesting pants and vests and belts and scarves and stuff like that. So it was right for me, and people really responded. And we loved the way that the visual looked when we did that video, and we thought, you know, let's keep working with this. And so it wasn't a stretch for me. Put it to you that way. It was not a stretch for me to do that, and it is a part of who I am and the type of stuff I've always liked. Like my favorite movie was always Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like for years.
Yeah.
And a lot of the characters in that movie, that's how they dress. So it's not like I'm trying to be something I'm not. If I was supposed to go put on like, you know, a pair of khaki shorts and like a beer shirt, then that wouldn't be me. You know, if it was a beach video, I would have a hard time doing that, and it wouldn't stick. But this did, because I was actually able to exemplify who I was inside through fashion.